Hello and welcome to Kira Una's DIY, coming to you from the great city and vault of Ronto. Please note that the Fallout games are based in an alternate reality and that the games themselves are rated for 17 years of age or older, rated M for mature. In this video, we may be discussing various commentary about world wars, post-apocalyptia, and potential mention of zombies. Viewer discretion is advised. Oh, no, wait. Ah. Alright, damn it. Get over here. Okay, I'm gonna have to tape this down. Boy. Huzzah for school supplies. We have sleeve. We have front body. We have back body. Pants back. Pants front. Alright, so today we have pattern drafting. This is going to be for the vault suit, jumpsuit, siren suit thing. Essentially, I have to draft this in a way so that it's comfortable as well as looks like a 1945 style jumpsuit. This is not going to be totally historically accurate. I cut all these body blocks out. Based on that, they are probably going to fit me close enough to my size that I won't have to do as much drafting as I plan. I will do a mock-up once I get most of this patterning cut out. I will also draft seam allowances, and for your benefit, I'm going to find a marker that will show up on this brown craft paper. I'm using this craft paper because it is relatively inexpensive, and it is also something that I have the most of. I'm also going to not do a lot of dart manipulation because I'm going to keep most of the darts where they are, just so I don't have to fight with it. But I do need to come up with a middle section for the suit to go around my torso because the body block doesn't come down that far on me. So throughout this entire process, I'm not going to show a lot of it because it's going to be a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't understand. These body blocks I bought online just because it was easier. I didn't want to fight with a lot of measuring me, then having to figure out the math, then trying to print it out or draw it out, and then having a lot of fuss and bother to make one. But I will put a couple of resources as to where I got this body block from, as well as some other references as to how you can go about possibly even getting a free one online. One of those resources being freesewing.org, and I will post the link in the description box down below. It's the reshaping this to be a little bit baggier in order to fit me better and to accommodate for possible clothing like a t-shirt underneath. One of those mechanics jumpsuits, that's kind of what I'm aiming for, except this is more historical to World War II, because this is where the game sort of kind of freezes in terms of the stylization. But I also have to add a button placket on the front, so then that way the buttons glow in the dark based on the siren suits from 1945, which I have some permanent vinyl to add. This is for cosplay, and sort of, so this is going to be kind of history bounding in a way that is going to be from like the historical styles between 1942-ish to about 1958-ish, before we get into the 60s. I'm going to move all these body blocks, start taking some patterning here, and we're gonna go into it. Long story short, essentially, I have to try and draft this in a way so that it's at least maybe 4 inches of ease. Let's get into doing the drafting part. this is sort of me just getting some fit commentary out. So like the waist is okay as long as I pull it up, because I have pants under here that are kind of flowy, so it's kind of bunching up in a couple of very weird places. The whole point of this whole jumpsuit thing is to kind of wear something under it, because I am wearing my t-shirt and I am wearing pants. Like even like I did a non-clothed run for the drawer, like the pants part of it. If I pull it up all the way, the waist fits fine, so that is okay. The only problem is that this block has more butt, or not enough butt. So it's like the seam comes up here, and I need to raise it so that the waistband is level. So I need to add more room in the butt, because the block that I bought is not meant for curvy people. Like, I've had to take it out and give myself a lot more room. I think I also need to drop the crotch a little bit just to give myself a little bit of leg room, which, you know, if I raise the back side, lower the crotch a little bit, not necessarily like raise the waist level in the front at all, because that's fine. But I think I'll also have to make maybe a belt to go with this, just so it really sits at waist level. And the shirt, it is meant to fit loose in the top half, and then this piece goes over top to match with the crotch seam here and go all the way up. And I've got lots of arm room. Lots of arm room is good, so that fits fairly comfortably. I mean, I could, if I wanted to turn this into an actual, like, regular shirt, like, I could take this up in the waist a little bit, like, at the waist level to raise the waistband, because I didn't realize how high that would be. But then I'd have no room in the back unless I raise the butt, if that makes sense. So I have a lot of minor adjustments to make. I want to make the legs a little straighter. I mean, they're not terrible, but I'll give myself a little bit more leg room on the sides as well. If I'm going to adjust the hips, I'm going to obviously adjust the rest of the length of the leg. The sleeve length is practically perfect, because then it's just a cuff, and I'd prefer a little bit of a longer sleeves. Just a couple of adjustments. After trying to determine what to do about the belting on the outfit, I came up with a solution to use this belt buckle. It was in my stash from a knitting magazine that I bought some years back and thought it would be a perfect addition. I had also found out that I didn't have the right type or color or shape for the buttons that I needed that were going on the blue button flaps. So I had to go scavenging through my stash for any reclaimed buttons, and I found my stash, picked out the ones that were a darker color, primarily black, and making sure that they matched the lighter buttons for the same size. I also needed to use the glow vinyl that I had bought as offcuts, that is said by the Etsy seller to be permanent, to stick onto the shank buttons that I bought for this project. This will do well to emulate the illuminated buttons from the 1940s. And this is what it looks like with a quick test of it glowing under its own power. No fancy lights here. So I thought I would take a minute to pause here for a second and just sort of explain some of the changes that I'm going to be doing after the mock-up phase. And I'm going to try and show you on a diagram on this side of the screen, just so you can see what I'm going to be doing. So for the pants rise, I haven't quite decided yet, but I might leave that alone. I might, by dropping the rise a little bit, I will be lengthening the waist slightly. And I know I have to do this in the back side, No, maybe I won't take... I might not fiddle with the waist at all. I think I'll leave it the way it is, except I'll probably add like a stabilizing belt that I can just throw on and cinch up, so that way it actually sits at my waist, because I don't know if anybody's ever tried a jumper before, but they don't always sit properly at the waist, depending on how well or how well not it fits you. I might make it a tie belt. So the other thing that I have to do is, historically speaking, there used to be these glow-in-the-dark luminescent buttons. So I have some shank buttons. They're not very big, but I have a fair bunch of them. Now, the challenge to make these glow-in-the-darks is prevalent because I don't have resin. I'm not going to use resin. However, I have some vinyl film that is used for signage. How well it'll hold up in the wash is anybody's guess. So I have this. Let me see if I can brighten this up so you can see it actually glows in the dark. See that dot? That is the film that I'm going to be using glowing in the dark. So I'm going to use this film to cover the buttons with. If that doesn't work, I have glow in the dark Mod Podge, and if all else really fails, I will go into my nail polish stash and find some glow-in-the-dark nail polish and just coat the darn things with glow-in-the-dark nail polish. I'm only going to do one of these as a test, and if it really works out well, then I'll continue doing the rest with this film. If not, I've got lots of this film and I'll use it for something. I doubt they would have had nail polish that glows in the dark back in the 40s, but I am using what I have. I'm trying to go with a couple of like garment restrictions from the 40s, just to like make it historically adequate, but not historically accurate. Because I mean, this is based off of a video game, and I mean, most cosplayers make it out of stretchy fabrics. And then I also have to do the numbers for the vault. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the reasoning behind why I'm using 416, for those of you who are following along, I happen to live in Canada. In fact, I live in Toronto. Toronto happens to be the largest city in Canada. I think in the total GTA, that's probably, and GTA not being Grand Theft Auto, GTA being the Greater Toronto Area. Within the GTA, I believe that there's something like 8 million people that live here. There's a lot of people that live here. 416 is the area code for the phone that we had long before the 647, and there was a third one that was added. I don't know what it is. Okay, the other area code is 437. Now, the area code 416 is the original North American codes that was created by the American Telephone and Telegraph Company, or otherwise currently known as AT&T, in 1947. So the area code for the vault suit, for the vault number, would also be historically accurate. With that said, I'm going to go and make all of those adjustments. I'm going to get started cutting into the project itself. We'll get trucking along. Is that a rad roach? Alright, so we have some footage of Fallout 4. So we have the vault suit that my character is currently wearing. So if we take a look at what my character is currently wearing, it's a blue suit with gold trim and a little bit of padding. My vault suit, siren suit, is probably going to be a little looser than this because I'm not using stretch material. In this game, I believe this is supposed to be probably leather, possibly a really super fitted sort of denim material or twill, but I'm just going to use some regular plain cotton with a straight weave. But what I am going to do is I'm going to make this closer to a 1940s, 1950s siren suit. So I will be deviating from this, but I will stick with the initial colors along with the yellow at the collar, down the front, and around the waist. Now I'm going to go play for a little bit more. So one thing I hate about this game, click anywhere near a chair and it forces you to sit down. Next time on Kira Una's DIY. Alright, so we've been working on this pet project for a few days now. There's going to be a couple of hiccups.
The gentle April rain that stained the window panes last night is all.
Okay, look. We've gone over this 100 times. If you don't bring me material, you owe me caps. No, I'm not doing it for free.